our special Guac interview, lunchtime Guac. I've had Guac 3 days in a row. I'm not sure if that's what doctors recommend, but it's Dr. So I have JD Stacey. He is with Community Dental Partners. And the goal is for me to share with you, there's so many unique opportunities to develop your dentisting core. If you don't take advantage and look into opportunities, you'll feel like this dentist here, crying on the inside and outside. So many unique opportunities in the business world of dentistry. So JD, thanks for being on here. We have, over 300 dentisting humans watch in. And I recommend when dental CE in person was still allowed, I told dentists just walk up and down the aisles, go to every booth and say, what do you do to help dentists? So pretend this is a virtual booth. JD, what do you do to help dentists?
Awesome. And that drawing, it's hard to beat that drawing, Paul. Your skills are advanced, but well beyond mine anyway. That's your benchmark, so you're in good shape.
Awesome.
Yeah, real quick, I'm one of the founding partners of a DSO in Texas called Community Dental Partners, and we've been at it for about 11 years. We have about 80 some odd associates, but honestly, my path has been a little bit different than most, Paul. I'm one of the unorthodox ones. I'm actually a psychologist by training. I was in hospital administration and then just took me naturally into consulting, working in the business sector, and specifically working with all kinds of different businesses.
So you did all that, JD, and you're like, who I need to help next? The dentist. There's a classic line of Seinfeld where Jerry looks at George and says, you need your own team of psychologists studying you. Right. So I think we need that. So you are a non-dentist person who's been helping dentists. So then you tell us about your journey in the dental world.
Yeah, so have a really couple good friends who are dentists who, as they were looking at starting, purchasing and buying their own practices, and we'll get into this, I'm sure. As you're looking through all the emotions that goes on, one, you want to buy the right practice. Two, you want to make sure you bought in the right place. Three, you want to make sure you're set up for success. So that's kind of where I got into it. I got into it supporting my good friends, helping them so that they didn't commit any, step on any landmines, make sure that they hired the right team. They got just got everything in place from an operational
standpoint. Important, Jay. And what I want to jump in. So I have two practices. I'm a 43-year-old dentist. I'm also a transitions broker, Del Nacho person. I am like this player coach. Basketball is our theme. It's not a real basketball. It's my daughter's basketball. Do I look like a Capam at NBA basketball? I want to be authentic here. But what I want to share is buying your first dental practice is pretty much the most important decision of your life. And by pretty much, I mean totally the most important decision of life, more important than who you marry. Why? Because at the end of dentist's career, they've had multiple houses, multiple spouses, still one dental practice. And it's just, we need to share with dentists how serious this is so they can go in aware, prepared, and protect themselves. So tell us a little bit about Community Dental Partners and what you guys do.
Yeah, so really set up to support dentists. And it started by, those of you that have seen Emmett Scott, he was my original business partner. It was Emmett's childhood friend, Chad Evans, who was a dentist. And really everything we built was to support Chad. I mean, if we're doing our job right, that means we're supporting dentists. That is, there's the good and the bad out there, Paul, as you have seen. But to know your true job is to make sure dentists are supported so that because I think one thing that's unfair that is asked of dentists is to be an expert in everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're not smart, doesn't mean they're not amazing. It just means
I always have this book on me at all times, the E-Myth Revisited, because dentists are asked to wear too many hats. Now, this is our Super Dentist Boost weekend, and we're a JBR type of place, just be real. So what about the dentist out there watching who's like, I want to sell my practice, but I don't want to get involved with these businessy people. They're going to make me change composites. They're going to make me do this. I don't want them to influence what I do. You guys have 80. How many practices does Community Dental Partners have?
So by the end of this year, we're onboarding about 30 as we speak. So we'll have about 75 by the end.
75, and you guys are totally a key resource and sponsor of the group, and I'm proud to have you that because you help with finding jobs, hiring associates, all those things. So you got 75 practices in this group, Community Dental Partners. And let's say you're a dentist who's been practicing for 30 years. Your practice is $1 million. You have 5 operatories. You say, I'm not sure what I want to do next. Do I want to collaborate with a group like Community Dental Partners? Walk us through this journey as to what you guys would do for a practice like that.
Yeah, I love it because, and I wish I could say your experiences are going to be the same across the board. They're not. But here's what I would do. I would approach it as you would any other interview. The number one thing, and I say we do the same thing. The number one thing, make sure that you align with is that your mindsets are similar. Like, and the buzzword is culture. As a psychologist, I love that word culture, but you want to make sure how you want to practice dentistry, how you want to run business lines up with whatever individual or group you're going to be talking to. Number one, most important thing you're going to do. And that goes for hiring as well.
I have this little bobblehead Paul Goodman here, but pretend this is a handpiece for a second. I want to share with the dental audience, there's a difference between selling your practice and hanging up the handpiece in some kind of ceremony. Selling and stopping drilling on teeth don't have to be the same day. So share with us, most often when a dentist sells their practice to you or partners with Community Dental Partners, we could spend the rest of the day talking about, are people 50-50 partners, 80-20 partners, 100, but I'm just here to introduce a concept to this group so they understand this world of where they can sell to a private practice dentist or traditional DSO this. How many years are they working post-transition most of the time?
Our preference is for it to be as long-term as possible, to be honest with you, because for us, if we do this right, when we partner with someone, they're an actual partner. And our goal would be to have them there 1 year, 5 years. Honestly, we would love it to be long-term. Because we want to do what we did with our good friend Chad. We want to build around that dentist specifically.
Right.
We would love to help them. If there's goals they didn't hit, we'd actually love to help them hit those. If there's growth they want to do, if there's practices they want to add. Like I said, we're a little unique that way. We actually want them to stay long-term.
That's great. And that may fit perfectly. What I share with people is just like treatment plans, some people want to sell and walk away. That's usually not a fit with a DSO or group culture, or even my brother and I, because if we purchased a practice as a tiny, small group, I need the dentist to go in there and do dentistry because I can't clone myself. So we talked about this aspect. I'd like to just shift gears for a few minutes. We're talking about a dentist who's thinking of selling. A dentist said, now let's switch gears to a newer dentist out there. I mean, just if you guys want to raise your hands in the chat, I would love it. If you've been a dentist for less than 5 years, dental student less than 5 years, just raise your hand in the chat. If you're here, so tons of dentists here. Now tell us about opportunities for associates to work in practices, to get experience. No ownership at this current time. Just walk us through that with Community Dental Partners.
Yeah. So when we bring associates out to Community Dental Partners, I'm actually part of the hiring process too, Paul, meaning my job is to help evaluate, because we're actually looking for character first. Right. Again, that is the most important. It's easier to teach dentistry than it is character. For sure. So character matters, to be honest with you, because we know that first year or two, you're going to be getting your clinical legs under you. So for us, our associates, as we hire them, one of the last decisions we personally, as we talk through as a group, is this a doctor that we could see ourselves partnering with down the road? Something interesting happens emotionally and psychology wise when you're hiring someone that you think of as a future partner versus an associate. You actually treat them differently. You work with them differently. You actually want to build them up as leaders versus they're just working for us. So that's our mindset. So we want them coming in with kind of a leader owner mindset, and that's how we train and develop them.
And that's a great opportunity. Dentists watching in, you really have to go into things eyes wide open, but there's just so many creative opportunities to grow yourself. Maybe it's a fit to stay somewhere for 4 years and move on. Maybe it's somewhere to stay for 4 years and stay for the rest of your career. So I want to say something about Chad at the end, because I really want to ask you to stop doing him to stop. If you know him, I have a request. Can you tell him to stop doing this thing in a second? If you could tell him to stop posting pictures of him deadlifting 315 pounds, because we're the same age, and it really makes me feel inferior. Doing handstand push-ups the other day. So if you could ask Chad to stop doing that, but he contributes group. Now, if people are just watching in here and saying, I'd like to learn more. My whole thing with you guys is to JFO, just find out, learn more, get your team of advisors, get people to help you, but maybe the right fit for you is going to be something that's going to get you to the next stage of your career. How can they reach out to you, JD, at Community Dental Partners?
So best way to reach out to me personally is through my email. It's jstacey@cdp.dental.
Okay, we'll put that in the chat and you can reach out to us. And I always like to have a closing note from someone like you. And I think you bring such a unique perspective. This is the first time we're meeting face to face, but love your psychology background. So the whole theme of this is to develop your dentisting basketball skills, how you get through a game, dribble, pass, shoot. I got Maurice Cheeks, my idol back there, his jersey from the Sixers, play a game, and how you can, not cry on the inside too often and develop this core. So you've been doing this as a psychologist. Give us a parting thought for any dentist. What's one thing they can do to develop this? What's one thing you've seen that would be so helpful to anybody watching? We'd love to hear that.
And Paul, thank you. And actually, I just so everyone knows, I follow Paul and I watch his podcast.
Oh, thanks.
And I think he does an amazing job at tackling not just the dental side, but the emotional side of dentistry. And so here's my parting thought. You as dentists, you're going to probably spend 60 or 70% of your time as psychologists. You're going to spend more time managing emotions than you're going to spend drilling on teeth, whether it be your own, pushing yourself through your own fears, or leading your staff, or just helping your patients overcome fears. So to me, any amount of time you spend developing yourself personally is some of the best investment you're going to make on your career. Not that dentistry isn't important, but take time to make sure your self-awareness is growing, increase those soft skills, work on leadership. So I'm grateful that Paul actually tackles it from both sides. I'm passionate about it, as you can see. That's my job, is to train our doctors on how to develop out the self-awareness side. So invest in that, please. Clinical is important.
Such great advice. That's it. And I want to share, if Nacho team, if any of you guys have your phone, I want you to record this just record your screen so we can send it to them. I want to share that getting your own help and your own coaches is so important along every age and stage of your journey. I've invested in coaches my entire career, and I have two right now, JD, Terry Brock and Aldana Ambler, so magnificent business coaches. And Aldana Ambler has worked with 4 US presidents, been in the Oval Office, and we talk a lot. And one of the most profound things she says, from working with presidents to companies that want to grow to startup companies to one person, is we're all in the business of managing energy. And it really is never more true, whether it's your team, your patients. And if you do not get down the skills to manage energy in your career, this stressful job, in any job, but especially dentistry, can really make your life feel like this inside. This is another one of my props here, JD, this inside. And you want it to feel better than that. So thanks, JD, for sharing with us. I really appreciate it. Look forward to partnering with you guys more and learning more about what you do.
Yeah, thanks all. Appreciate it, Paul. Wonderful. Keep on trucking. Good job.
Awesome. Thanks so much.